Welcome to 60 Skills. The topic of today's lecture is, what is ritual magic? Simply put, ritual magic is a form of meditative and yogic practice in which a practitioner draws upon an established egregore in order to enact their will. Whether this is going up the path of enlightenment or going down the chain of manifestation is irrelevant. The simple fact of the matter is, the practitioner is drawing upon an intelligent external power source in order to accomplish whatever act that is they're attempting to accomplish. Now, typically, ritual magic involves a variety of paraphernalia: special clothing, wands, knives, swords, candles, crystals, etc., that are utilized in a predetermined method or pattern in order to gain access to the egregore in question. Now, these egregores may be associated with different gods in some of the pagan systems, various spirits such as the Lemegeton or Lesser Key of Solomon, or things such as Buddhist deities. All of these are examples of ritual magic. So, for example, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram from the Golden Dawn system is a form of ritual magic. Likewise, taking the medicine Buddha empowerment from certain forms of esoteric Buddhism is another example of ritual magic. In both cases, the practitioner ends up merging their consciousness with the consciousness of the egregore and or spirit involved. In exchange, the spirit opens up certain energetic pathways within a practitioner to allow things to occur for them. In exchange, the egregore of the spirit gets a little bit of energy from the practitioner, not much usually, although it varies from system to system, and that spirit and or egregore in turn influence the actions of the practitioner. If, for example, you are doing something like the Heart Sutra continually over a period of time, you're going to notice that you feel pretty good all the time and that you tend to think positively of other people. This is a predetermined effect of the egregore associated with that ritual magic act you have just engaged in. Now, keep in mind, ritual magic works the way it does because the entity is doing a lot of the work for you. This, of course, requires a little bit of tax of energy because these entities, generally speaking, don't have physical bodies. And with no physical body, they don't have breath, therefore they cannot generate energy of their own. What you get from them is the entity goes in and moves energy around in your body or shuts off certain safeties within the body that allow you as a practitioner to access reserves that you have not built up from an internal power practice. The result of which is ritual magic tends to work very quickly. However, this is more than anything a partnership, where there is also a mental level interchange between both you and the entity involved. The result of which is you influence one another. This is one of the reasons why egregores in their application in society can actually adapt or change over time, as the people who access that egregore bring forward a different set of beliefs or thoughts regarding how the influence of the entity should enact itself in the physical world. This is also the reason why all of the living practitioners of a given egregore or ritual magic system can in fact die, and through proper path working, a skilled practitioner who has a large amount of ability in things like mental wandering can go out and make contact with a very old egregore or spirit entity that hasn't existed in the physical world in quite some time, millennia in fact, and given the right amount of effort and the right amount of sensitivity on the practitioner, can then re-engage that egregore in the physical world. So this is just a little speech about how ritual magic works writ large. And again, this is going to apply to things like the Golden Dawn, Wicca rituals and ceremonies, many of the pagan rituals and ceremonies out there, Kabbalah as it is practiced by many esoteric Jewish groups, Deity Fusion as is practiced by Buddhists, and people who have the ability to access the power of the Latin Mass, which is actually limited to priests from an apostolic line of succession. Now, this brings up another issue involving ritual magic. Not everybody can access every system of ritual magic. In some cases, in many cases actually, you require an initiation where you have to be given access to that egregore or power bank. Sometimes this will require an extended amount of work on the part of a practitioner to gain access to a dormant egregore or spirit entity that hasn't been in the real world in quite a long time. Either way, this is set up to protect that egregore and its power bank. That way, only authorized people can get access to what they have. And this usually requires the mastery of a number of ritual ceremonies over a fair amount of time. This is also done to protect the practitioner, as these egregores can have access to quite large power reservoirs. And depending upon the training you have, you may be able to access that. And if someone hasn't done enough work, this can be highly destabilizing to the individual, which in general is not in the long-term interest of the egregore or that system of ritual magic, because it wants to be in the world. And killing off its practitioners is generally not a good way to do that. Now, that said, many of these ritual magic systems, because they're overriding certain safeties within your body that haven't been developed through internal power practice, can in fact be damaging over time. I'm not going to get into the full details of that, but I'm simply mentioning that here so that people understand that when it comes to anything in the real world, there is simply no free ride, and you may be exchanging one thing for another. Also, having involvement with ritual systems tends to end up linking a practitioner to that ritual system, both in life and in death. So it can also impact your reincarnation cycle. And again, this is not to dissuade anybody from engaging in ritual magic. Just you should go in the front door understanding that there may be some issues involved that you may or may not be in agreement with. And if you're not, you should probably find another way of doing things. So I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. And if you did, hit the subscribe button down below and give us a like. And if you'd like to learn more about the 60 Skills curriculum, please check out the details below this video. Otherwise, have a great day and be well.